And we begin chapter 3 of the Diamond Mystery. This chapter 3 is called The Investigation Begins. The next day the sun was shining brightly. Maya and Jerry each packed a bag containing their detective kits and took the bus to Church Street. They got off in front of the hotel just down the road from Mohammed Karat's famous jewelry store between the cafe and the post office. Jerry and Maya walked to the old church so they could get a look at the store from across the street. The store was at street level, and Mr. Karat owned the 2 floors above it. "So there's a diamond thief in there somewhere," said Jerry. "Are you scared?" "Oh, come on now, let's get started," scoffed Maya, dragging Jerry towards the store. They crossed the street and opened the front door. A bell chimed as they went in. Maya looked around carefully. An old elderly assistant asked if she could be of help. When Maya asked to speak to the owner, the assistant led the 2 detectives to an office at the back of the store. The assistant knocked on the door to the office. "Come in," they heard Mohammed Karat call. Maya opened the door, and Mohammed Karat stood up from behind his desk. He walked toward them with his arms outstretched. "Oh, I'm so glad to see you," he cried. Then he lowered his voice and whispered, "Another diamond disappeared yesterday. That's the 6th one. I can't understand how they do it. I need your help now more than ever." Jerry noticed that the elderly woman lingered in the doorway. She seemed to be listening very cautiously and curiously. "You may go back to the front, Vivian," Mohammed Karat said, shutting the door behind her. "Let's get started," said Jerry, as they settled down on a big brown sofa. "Could you tell us about the people who work here? What's a typical day like for you in the store?" Mohammed Karat took out his handkerchief and blew his nose loudly. He walked to the desk, opened one of the drawers, and took out a few photographs. "The store opens at 10 a.m. each day and closes at 6 p.m. At some point during that time, a diamond disappears." "The whole thing is impossible to explain. I'm just going mad," he yelled. Mr. Karat, please try to calm down," said Maya. "Oh, excuse me," Mr. Karat said as he collected himself. "Other than myself, there are 3 people who work here." Here's the picture. So that's the elderly assistant, Mrs. Vivian. Mohammed Karat passed one of the photos to Maya and to Jerry. "Vivian Leander, store assistant. You've already met her. She's the one who showed you to my office. Vivian works at the front of the store and helps the customers. She's been with the business for many, many years and has always done an excellent job. But she ran into some trouble last year. Her house burned down, and I believe that the insurance company is refusing to pay her any money," explained Mohammed Karat. "Apparently, Vivian was behind on some home insurance payments." Here's Vivian. "So now she's short on cash. Just last week, she came into my office and asked me for a raise. I would be happy to help her, but as I'm sure you can understand, there's no way I can afford to give her a raise right now." Jerry scratched his nose with his pen and made a note in his notebook. "Suspect's motive, Vivian Leander needs money." Mohammed Karat then passed them another photo. "This is Danny Braveheart. Danny works on the 2nd floor just above the store," he continued. "He cleans and he polishes the jewelry before it's sold. To be honest, Danny's a bit grumpy for my taste, but he's always on time and he keeps things in order, and he is a very trustworthy employee. Danny's dad actually owned this store years and years ago," Mohammed Karat went on, "but he had financial problems and he had to sell it. That's when I bought the store. Otherwise, today, Danny would be the boss here." Jerry didn't have to scratch his nose this time. He simply wrote down in his notebook, "Suspect's motive, Danny Braveheart wants to take over the store again." Here's another picture. Muhammad Carrot then passed Jerry and Maya the third and final photograph. This is Luke Smith. Luke works on the top floor of the building, and he cuts diamonds and sets them into elegant rings and necklaces. Luke hasn't worked here very long, but he's very careful and he's very good at his job. He's worked in the jewelry business for many years. His previous employers were pleased with him. Luke likes nice clothes and fast sports cars. He bought a new car just last week, actually. Here's a picture of Luke. Muhammad Carrot laughed. You should have seen Danny Braveheart's face when Luke shut off his new car. Danny looked at the car with disgust and then at Luke with loathing. What's loathing mean? Loathing. I'm going to read the sentence again. Use the context clues. You should have seen Danny Braveheart's face when Luke showed off his new car. Danny looked at the car with disgust, and then he looked at Luke with loathing. So those kind of give you some clues. Danny Braveheart's face. You should have seen his face when Luke showed off the new car. Danny looked at the car with disgust. Ugh, horrible. And then he looked at Luke with loathing. That kind of means like dislike. 380 horsepower, Luke had bragged and patted the hood of the car. To which Danny replied, you only need 1 horsepower if you choose the right one, and he stormed off. None of us, Vivian, Luke, nor I, understood what he meant, said Muhammad Carrot. Danny is definitely in one of his grumpy moods. Like I said, Luke Smith is a nice guy. He's into fitness. He always goes for a jog, carrying around an apple to snack on. Jerry took out his notebook once again and wrote, Luke Smith has plenty of money. Where does it come from, though? Here's the next picture. All right, then. I think that's all you need now. You need to know, said Muhammad as he sprang up from the sofa. Now I'll introduce you to the staff. That's the end of chapter 3. What do you think? Somebody wanted, but so then. Be working on that.